For the adults, I was wondering if you would be willing to look at that reading from Jeremiah. The beginning of it, he describes his trouble. He's a prophet of God. He's basically saying to people something that they don't want to hear. The Babylonians are threatening the country of Judah, the city of Jerusalem, the temple. Jeremiah knows that God is using the Babylonians to basically teach the people of Judah a lesson because they have rejected him, they have rejected God, they've rejected the covenant. And so he's talking about the fact that we're going to get defeated, and nobody really wants to hear that. And right earlier before this reading, one of the priests in the temple has had Jeremiah arrested and put in stocks for the night, beat him too. And so the first part of the reading you heard, Jeremiah is kind of upset and he's complaining to God. But then he gets to this wonderful line that I shared with the children. This idea, but the Lord is with me like a mighty champion. You and I aren't prophets of the Lord. You and I aren't in that same situation, but you and I suspect all of us have moments where, kind of like Jeremiah, things are not going well at all on some level. And maybe it's so bad that we're tempted, like Jeremiah, to look up at God and shake our fist and say, God, what are you doing here? This isn't right. In Jeremiah's case, I'm doing what you have asked me to do, and it's going really, really badly. So it is really great when Jeremiah gets to this line, but the Lord is with me like a mighty champion. You figure, oh, okay, so yeah, he's lamenting his situation. That makes sense. Lots of people in the Bible do it. But he has come to this place where it's like, okay, I don't like this, but I guess it'll be okay. God's with me. I mean, I know in my life, just over the last couple of years, dealing with my little bit of medical issues, I have found this to be incredibly powerful. It's wonderful when people pray for me about my health and things like that, and I really appreciate that. But my personal prayer has not been so much about that. It's been much more about, God, I don't like this, but as long as you're with me, it'll be okay. And that's been quite powerful for me. But then, I don't know if you would have caught it just a first reading, but if you dig into this a little bit, you'll notice that Jeremiah sort of takes a turn after he says that. Not a good one. He says, my persecutors will stumble. They will not triumph. In their failure, they'll be put to utter shame, to lasting, unforgettable confusion. There's a certain amount of negativity to this. You know, maybe it's understandable that Jeremiah is upset about what's happening to him. He sort of is thinking ill of these people, but it gets even worse because he then adds, O Lord of hosts, you who test the just, who probe the mind and heart, let me witness the vengeance you take on them, for to you I have entrusted my cause. That's not good. I mean, Jeremiah is kind of like, you know, God who judged the just. I'm right. I know I'm right. God, you know I'm right. I need you to take care of these other people. A vengeance sort of thing. And I don't know about all of you, but I suspect most of us, we would appreciate the fact that, yeah, that's kind of the way we want to tend to think. Things don't go quite right. We want to blame somebody. Things aren't going the way we expect, maybe personally, in a group we're a part of, in a ministry, maybe even at the parish, certainly, and in a political kind of way. Maybe you start getting to that mode, and like Jeremiah, you just kind of slide into it. Well, those people, and you start thinking really poorly of them. You want vengeance. See, the thing is, I'm sorry, we want vengeance. They hurt us, we want to hurt them. They made us unhappy, we want them to be unhappy. And I just need you to appreciate the fact that this sounds kind of reasonable. I think it is part of our fallen nature. It is what we will default to if we don't try to do something differently. We'll be just like Jeremiah. God, this isn't right. And then we might say, oh, God, you're with me. But pretty soon, we'll be in the vengeance part of this. That if it sounds reasonable, and you might even say, well, I don't know there's much I can do about it. You do need to be reminded of the fact that Jesus isn't going to go for this. This isn't going to cut it with Jesus. Sermon on the Mount, Jesus gets to this point and he says, you have heard it said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. That phrase, you have heard it said, that's Jesus saying, hey, let me tell you about the culture of our day and time. In Jesus' day and time, that's exactly what you did. Sure, people that you liked, people who agreed with you, that kind of stuff, they were terrific people, and you loved them. And the other people, oh no, they were your enemies. You hated them. That describes Jeremiah. That describes his attitude, and certainly you'd appreciate the fact that it describes our time as well. But then Jesus goes on to say that I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Love your enemies. Some of you probably would consider yourselves rather conservative. Lovely thing, I'm sure. But I need you to realize that if you were to embrace this, you would be a radical. You'd be quite the radical person, because give it a thought. How many times do you come across this? How many times do you come across someone who is willing to love their enemies? I mean, consider Jeremiah. I mean, he's not interested in loving the people that have just beat him, put him in jail, are constantly on his case, trying to catch him up so that they can discredit him. He's not interested in loving those people. And pick any issue of our day. Doesn't matter, just pick one of those divisive ones. The question is, are the people who want marriage to be limited to a man and a woman, are they willing to love those who see same-sex marriage as okay? People that want to outlaw abortion in all its forms, are they willing to love those who have a different viewpoint? If you're strongly committed to one political party, are you willing to love the people who are in the other party? And you have to understand, if this is sounding hard to you, it gets even worse. St. Paul talks about this same thing, and he does it this way: bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse them. Cursing is not, in this case, he's not talking about some sort of, hex or weird thing like that. Cursing, a good way to think of it, cursing would be that you do not speak well of people. You convey to them in word and action that you do not think they should be around. It should not be part of your life, and you don't help them. That's what it means to curse someone. And Paul says, don't do that. You should bless these people. And I encourage you to just give that some thought for a moment. What would that be like? Take somebody, a group, whatever, take somebody that you're not getting along with and like, oh, I am supposed to speak well of them. I am supposed to be glad that they are here, and I am supposed to help them. That is the challenge. That's what Jesus is after. Now, how you do this in practice, it's probably way more complicated than I can get into in any regular homily. But you could start with that first one. Speak well. of people you disagree with. Speak well of people you don't like. It will take some effort on our part. We're not going to want to do it, but it can be done. It's not all that hard. Take one of those issues you strongly disagree with somebody, maybe in your family, maybe a friend of yours, you disagree about something. You might just pause to realize that they're probably just thinking that their idea would be good. In other words, they think it is a good idea even though you don't agree with it. It's not like they're trying to destroy the country or destroy the ministry or anything like that. They just have a different view about how it should proceed. And if you're willing to accept that, then you can speak well of them. Isn't it wonderful that this person is willing to think about it and decide, consider what might help our ministry be better, help our parish be better. Those are good people, even if they happen to be wrong, morally wrong, perhaps. And so you see, it just sort of comes down to a choice. What do you want to do? You want to be like Jeremiah, or do you want to listen to Jesus? Jeremiah is certainly understandable. I mean, here's a guy who is right. Most of us, we're probably not quite as right as we might think we are. Jeremiah is a prophet of the Lord. He is saying what he's been told to say. He's getting treated really badly. And what he's done is he's fallen into this slope, down this slope where he wants vengeance. He wants God to get those people, and he wants to watch them suffer. But it is interesting. If you read the whole book of Jeremiah, you never get the impression that he's happy, that there's no joy in his life. Some of that just might be the way the book is written. But as I was thinking about that, all the people that I run across who are really upset about somebody, some group, whatever, they're not happy either. They're just caught up in this hatred. They're just caught up in, like, they're wrong, I want something done to them. In other words, the path that Jeremiah sort of goes down isn't a good one for us. Jesus, on the other hand, says, it came that they might have life and have it abundantly, a joyful, meaningful, purposeful life. And he's saying to us, you want that life? Oh, hey, here's a good one for you. Why don't you work at loving and blessing your enemies? Because those people are going to be happier, more joyful. They'll find ways to make this all work, and their lives will be better. So it is kind of up to us. Jeremiah or Jesus, negative, more joyful? I'm not telling you that this is going to be easy to do, but I will tell you it's possible. And I will tell you, as about everything else, Jesus is right.